Welcome guys, it's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live and we're joined today by the Cruiserweight IBF champion, Opetai. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good, thank you.
So yes, I saw you today. You've just it seems like you've done your final preparations for your your big spar today. So how are you feeling like after that, and how do you feel training camp's gone so far?
Oh man, good. It's good to get the last spar done. We're just in those deep waters, pushing through, getting those K's in the legs. It's been a big week, so it's good to finish that big week, and now we go into our taper week next week over in Saudi.
So with your sparring partners, do you know who you're sparring, or does your team just sort of figure it out for you and sort of arrange it? And did you know much about the sparring partners? Today we had Lucas Rorig and Marek. Did you know anything about them, or you just got in there and just sort of saw how it went?
I literally just rock up and spar whoever's in the ring. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about him. I met that kid, at the press conference. He's a good fighter. Man, he surprised me today. You know what I mean? It was great to sort of have the amateur in the, back to that amateur style and throwing the higher work rate and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Especially because they only do that sort of first half of the rounds. It's the higher pace, and then you got to switch it and change it, against someone else. So it's good, man. It was good rounds today. I'm impressed by him.
Yeah, I've seen him spar quite a few times. George Groves is charged with likes of Craig Richards, Ben Whitaker, and a few other guys. So, yeah, how far do you see him going if he stays disciplined and focused?
Yeah, man, he's got the skills. I feel like he's the full package. You know what I mean? He's not a bad fighter at all. I'll be backing him, man. I'll be following his career. He earned my respect today in the ring. I feel like that's where respect's earned. It's earned in the ring, and today he done really well. So good on him.
I see a lot of people talk about recently that there's a few they talk about say Daniel Dubois, like low blows, and sometimes it can get a bit rough in there. I remember a fight when I first actually saw you versus Mark Flanagan, and he hit you with a low blow and you was like, oh, you fuck. So how do you sort of deal with that mentally if you get hit by sort of a foul shot?
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Fuck. You just got to adapt to it. You can't let it sort of derail your focus too much. These things happen, and they happen in sparring and stuff all the time as well. So, it's not the first time it's ever happened.
And then with, I saw in a recent interview you spoke about this fight. You sort of want to go back to your grassroots of using your boxing skills more. What's brought that on? Because obviously we've seen people have been gripped towards you because of your exciting style, big knockouts and big punches and that. So what's making you want to sort of go back to your grassroots of the boxing style now?
I think I've just been chasing knockouts a bit too much lately, and I showed with Breedis, when you fight those high caliber fighters, it's not everything. You got to sort of be a bit more patient and set it up. So, we learned a lot from that fight. We're looking forward to showcasing a whole different sort of set of skills for this one. But, we're still ready to go in the trenches as well. We still got that power. We still got that deep water. We can still fight in the pocket and we can still bang. So, I feel like we're more just covering every base.
So in that Breeders fight, I saw you in the first round. You hit him with a massive left hand, which sort of took him into the ropes. And then sort of afterwards, you started to sort of, I don't know if it was like, it's like you sort of changed your style, and it's like people said that you started to look human in there. What was there anything that, was it the fact that you got a broken nose, or what was it in the fight what made you decide to sort of switch to a plan B style? Not that is a bad thing, because you do need plan B and C in a fight in certain situations. So what was it in that fight what made you decide to change your approach in how you was going to deal with that rematch?
Are you saying after I broke my nose? Or
was it the fact that he broke your nose, or was it another thing in the fight or in preparation? What made you decide to sort of change into plan B? Because it seemed like you changed your approach sort of during the fight compared to like the first round where it looked like you was going to sort of go for the blast out sort of shot because you hit him with a massive left hand in the opener.
I don't know. We just sort of adapt in the ring, and what happens. It's weird. You look back at the fights and it all seems like a blur. It happened so fast, but when you watch it back, you learn a lot when you watch it back. So, it is what it is. We've learned a lot, and now I'm looking forward to the next one.
So with Jack Massey, as we know, he's had a string of successive wins, just beat Isaac Chamberlain. What do you see that as like his main positive attributes that could possibly cause a factor, or that something you'd have to overcome and deal with in the fight?
Man, he's got the will to win. You know, he keeps coming forward. He's got a big engine. You know, he's a good little boxer. So, you know, it's a tough fight. You know, we're not looking for easy fights, but we're excited. You know, we bring it on, bro. Let's just fucking get it done, you know?
So talking about your Samoan background, yeah. So is that where the sort of intensity and the drive and passion comes from? Because it seems like when you're sort of, even in press conferences as well as fights, it seems you're very intense, and people say they even find you quite intimidating and scary. So do you think that that's something to do with it, sort of like your cultural background, or is it just something that's instilled from you as a kid living in Australia?
Man, you know, I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just here to get a job done. You know, I'm here away from family. I'm making sacrifices. So, you know, when I fly 24 hours away from home, you know, to be here and train, and I'm away from my daughter and away from my fiance and all my family at home, you know, I'm not there. I can't be there for them. So we're here to take care of business. You know, we're not here on a holiday. So that's it. We're just here to get a job done, and then we want to go back home and celebrate with our families. So until we are back home, we're switched on.
I love that, and congratulations on your newborn baby as well, by the way. So with this fight being another one in the Riyadh season, how are you finding it, like flying over to Saudi? Because this time you're going to be flying from England. Do you find it will be a bit better than, say, flying from, say, doing a training camp in Australia or New Zealand or America, compared to, say, traveling from here, as it's only a 2-hour flight time difference?
Sorry, say that again.
How are you finding the time schedule from, say, England to Riyadh? Because is this the first time you've...
Yeah. No, well, man, exciting, you know what I mean? Like, we've always just flown straight to Riyadh 10 days before and had to adapt there. And, like, even now, like, we've only been there for about 6 days, you know what I mean? So, fucking the jet lag, you know, it's just going up and down. My sleep patterns all fucking all over the joint, but it's hard. It makes it hard, it makes it difficult, makes sparring harder, makes training harder. So it's, you know, by the time we get over to Riyadh, we're going to be sharpening up, you know what I mean? It's all just going to fucking fit right into place, I feel. So I feel like it's better that we've come over here, we've finished this camp here. It's good, and we've had some good rounds here, you know what I mean? We've got all these boys trying to take my head off over here, you know? They all got something to prove. They're all here to say, you know, oh, I fucking sparred Joe Opetai. So, you know, you can see it in them. And it's that fucking pommy passion, you know? It's awesome to see, you know? None of these boys take a step backwards. They're here to prove something. So it's good. It's perfect for what I need for a camp, you know? So it's been challenging, but, you know, we'll get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I love that saying. That's a saying that I use, that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So do you find that you find the training or sparring partners better abroad than, say, at home? Or what country would you say produces the best sort of work for yourself? Is it the UK, America? Yeah.
We've had really good sparring here while we've been here. You know, there's still good sparring, and there's some good boxers in Australia. You know what I mean? But it's just good to mix it up. You know, like, we've just been traveling different gyms, you know, like going, and they just get 3 fighters in and out, you know what I mean? Today we had 2 fighters doing 5 and 5, so it's just good to get those, and they're hungry, you know what I mean? They're here to prove something. When you're back at home, sort of doing the same rounds with the same people and stuff like that, which is still good fighters, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but it's just good to adapt to different people in a new gym, you know, out of your comfort zone type of stuff. So yeah, it's all positive, man.
So moving on to, I saw the Latino night press conference with Chris Billington-Smith and Zurdo Ramirez. What do you think about that fight, and how do you see that going?
Man, who cares? I'm just focused on the 12th of October. You know, I've got a job to do. If I don't get my job done, then, you know, it doesn't matter what I think. So, you know, Jack Massey has my full focus.
No, I love that. And also, I know it. Does it get annoying when people say, like, try to ask you questions about, say, the heavyweight division, Usyk, and winner of Bivol Beterbiev when you've got another fight coming up? How do you sort of stay focused? Because I know that a lot of fighters in the past, they have sort of overlooked the current opponent, looking for these unifications and sort of undisputed and weights above and weights down type of fight. So how do you stay focused on your opponent and not overlook your current opponent, because you know this guy is coming for you, while the media people seem to want to drift you and make your mind sort of go elsewhere?
The media is the media, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm focused.
All right, and last one from me. What is your ritual? Oh, it's all right. So, what is your ritual? Usually, what you do after a fight, after a win, not after your fights normally.
What do I do after I win? When I get home?
Oh my God! All right. I think you're gonna eat taro, I guess. That's what we'll leave it there. But yes, let's go, champ. And there you have it. It's Jai Opetai, the Cruiserweight King, IBF champion. It's Danny Glover. It's Fight Fan TV Live. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.